Hello. We're recording this on New Year's Eve.
Yes. How was your New Year's Eve?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I could hear now. Did you hear me ask you how was your New Year's Eve?
I did. My push stop stops working.
Okay. I thought you were just really
No,
contemplating it very strongly.
no. I apologize, everybody. This is gonna be like a low effort episode. I'm already fatigued from the holidays at this point. So who knows when I actually put this up? I'll probably just end up putting it up right after this, but yeah, Darfox is here with me. Morgana is not. Seamus is still in Japan. He seems to be having a crazy time right now, doing everything.
Kind of feels like he's a homeless man who just goes from like wrestling event to wrestling event, and he eats something sometimes.
Something like that. He went to a 10-hour, 64-man wrestling tournament. That was one of the first shows he went to. It sounds wild. I'm sure we'll get more stories from him, when everything starts, but
We have an ARG bombshell in the chat. Happy New Year. I think she just popped in to say hi. You're
hey,
very
Amber.
welcome.
Yeah, we're streaming live on YouTube, hopefully.
Yep, it seems to be working out. I was late starting because it was kind of pooping the bed. Well, that's me. Hello, everybody.
Are you sore, Darfox? You were working out
I
yesterday.
am sorry. Yeah. I'm actually okay right now, but late. Uh, well, actually, late in the evening, or so I went to bed really late, like around 4 a.m. So I woke up around 8 a.m. Really sore. So about like 4 hours into my sleep, I was like my biceps specifically were like really hurting. I don't work out if people don't know, but so like this is and I've worked out before in my life, but not in many years. So this is the first time in a long time that my body felt like that. And Yeah, like it was bad enough. I had to take some Tylenol to try and take the edge off. And I was able to get back to sleep, and I slept a few more hours. But yeah, I'm gonna. It sounds really corny because it's right before New Year, so it sounds like it's like a New Year's resolution. Um, but it's not really a New Year's resolution. I've been planning this for a long time. I'm really slow at starting stuff. I'm really slow at starting new life routines. I'm really bad at that stuff. So it just kind of shut down in a way where I finally had some of the equipment at home, and I had the energy to do it. And it was late at night. We were watching a wrestling event, and a certain wrestler was on the screen that I kind of didn't want to watch much of that wrestler for scandalous reasons. And I said, "Hey guys, help me work out." And I started working out like on the spot. And a lot of people we talked to, become friends of ours, like Mr. X and Lightning Bolt, who's been in some of our content. He's been in our chat as well. Um, they watched me and helped, like, gave me
Was
some
not
pointers.
nominated for the award.
He was not. I mean, if there was an award for best online coach for working out, I'm telling you, Lightning Bolt's probably going to win. But Totoro, who was involved heavily in our last podcast, um, was also there. Totoro does some workouts with kettlebells and stuff like that. So they had a lot of great advice for me. So that's what I really wanted because I think working out isn't rocket science, um, but there's a lot of really small mistakes you can do with your form. Hey, there's Lanny Boat. There's a lot of really small mistakes you can do with your form, and that's really what I wanted. Case in point, they were telling me that I was coming down too quick, right? And it didn't feel like I was letting gravity just bring it down, but when they told me to go up fast and then come down kind of slow, then that made a huge difference, and that's really what I wanted the help with, like that kind of stuff. That's like the blind spots in my knowledge of working out. But yeah, it was fun. Hopefully, I will do more of it. and hopefully I'll just be whining and complaining about my body being sore for a long time.
We can add that to the bingo card.
Talking about my body being sore.
Uh huh.
When was the last time you worked out? I know you used to go to the gym for like at least cardio stuff.
Well, I stopped going to the gym when COVID happened, so
Yeah, yeah, it's really smart.
I'm gonna say 3 years ago. I haven't been back really since. The weird thing is during the pandemic, it's probably like I lost a lot of muscle weight, but in general, like I did not. I don't think I ate particularly well, but for some reason, I still lost 10 pounds, which put me in like a way healthier state than I've ever been in
Yeah,
before that.
I've seen recent pictures of you, and you're not like out of shape or like it doesn't look like you haven't been to the gym in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, they're still not in shape, but yeah, I used to be way heavier, so it's weird. I don't know. I should probably like fix some other health issues,
Yeah.
but we probably shouldn't be going on and on about that on the podcast. Um, let's thank our Manga Mac coffee supporters.
Ew.
You have a new graphic. Look at that. Oh, look at the inner chambers, fully funded. Thanks to Manga Machu, Vicky Dalton, and Lulu. And all our other supporters as well. That retrospective that we're doing in 2024 is probably going to be mid-year. That's a request from Seamus, so
So
don't expect it for a couple months.
Yeah, a few months from now.
But thanks again to our coffee supporters. And if you want to support our podcast financially and help us buy our manga, go over to ko-fi.com/mangamac. You can support us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're going to get right into it because it's a new chapter check-in. Before that, I'll just talk about next week. Next week, Morgana will be back, and we're going to kick off 2024 with a manga in motion. We'll be discussing the live-action Yu Yu Hakusho show. Dari, you haven't started watching that yet, right?
No, I've been kind of saving myself so that it's somewhat more fresh because I forget stuff easily.
Darfox is talking, but I can't hear him.
Oh yeah, sorry, I missed my push talk. Yeah. I've been saving on myself for it. Just so that it's more fresh once we record. So I might start this weekend because I got time.
Yeah, well, there's 5 episodes of that on Netflix, live action. I'll probably rewatch it. I might rewatch it with the English dub a little bit, just to check. Maybe I'll change how I feel. Probably not. A lot of bad wigs. So, get ready for that next week. A manga in motion on Netflix's live action Yu Yu Hakusho. Okay, we don't need to leave because we just started, but we will transition over into our main segment, which is a new chapter check-in. Darfox, we haven't done a new chapter check-in in like half a year, if not longer. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because a lot of the big stuff we talk about, I feel like there wasn't that much stuff to update about them.
Yeah, I mean, we usually do these like when we have a break or we need a break. But in 2023, everybody was on break at some point in time. That we didn't really need to do one of these. And like you said, there's not that much to discuss. it was funny because a couple days ago, Dar asked me, "Hey, do I need to read anything for this week?" And I was like, "No. This is like like I spent all my resources and energy on the Manga Mac Awards show. I I I have nothing left. I'm literally gonna shoot from the hip this week.
Heck
That is
yeah.
what I'm doing. In case people cannot tell, they're like, "What the fuck is up with Dakazu?" It's like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking done. And that's why I put apology at the top of this episode.
On to a new year.
I guess we can before we get into things, new chapter check-in is where me and Darfox usually just talk about the most recent story arcs and events of manga series. So we'll actually talk about popular stuff, the stuff that we usually mostly avoid here on our podcast. Which is funny because this is like the popular stuff, Dar. So like we tend to get more newer listeners for this
Yeah, sometimes.
than like our regular listenership. But yeah, spoiler warnings ahead. Anything that's released up to this point of we're recording this on New Year's Eve 2023, so January 31st, 2023 is going to be fair game, and we will not give a spoiler warning besides this. So if you do not want to be spoiled on stuff, use the timestamps that I will leave in the show notes and use those to skip over segments that you don't want us talking about. Who is calling me? Oh, my dad is trying to call me. I'll message him that I'm busy. Dar, do you want to actually talk about Chainsaw Man?
Not so much, because we're probably eventually gonna cover this stuff when it comes down to volume. I will say, just very, and I kind of want to see what your opinion about this is. There was, I feel like, a dip in the art quality and almost a dip in the story quality, um, where I wasn't sure for the first time in a long time if Tati Fujimoto knew what he was doing. I think that's picked up in the last couple of chapters. It kind of finally seems like, okay, this is the moment and the climax is coming up. Um, and I mean, I'm still always interested in every new chapter release. I want to read it. I don't know. How did you feel anything similar, Dagasu, the last few months of Chainsaw Man?
I can see where you're getting at. Like there was a lot of plot heavy like chapters, and those are never fun, right? But after wrapping up the Falling Devil arc, I think he needed a break on a lot of fronts. So he took, he slowed down the pace, introduced a couple of new characters, tried to get some like stuff going on in like the world lore. And at a certain points, it felt like it was meandering a bit. Like, where is this all leading to? And now in like the newest chapters, we kind of see where it's going. But when you put in chapters where it's like Denji can't be Chainsaw Man anymore, it's like it really is like, what is the point of this manga if Denji isn't being Chainsaw Man in a lot of ways? We even moved away from Asa a lot after the Falling Devil arc. So, because it switched, it was all about Asa leading up to that point, and now it's all about Denji now. And
Yeah,
maybe that's like the shift that you're feeling as well.
yeah, partly. Um, I just thought, like, in general, like I said, even like the art quality kind of dipped a little bit. Um, but I mean, like I said, it's still good. And I'm wondering if I appreciate it more in hindsight after we see more of where it's going.
Yeah, Tatsuki Fujimoto kind of feels to me like someone who he needs his input so he can make his output. And I'm sure when he was finishing up the Falling Devil arc, that was very art intensive. You know, I felt like he was drained this year, right? Especially the second half of the year. Those chapters, like you mentioned, maybe they misjudged the pace that they were putting him on for like releases. It didn't work. But yeah, I heard other opinions about like I don't know about this anymore. I remember when I went to see my brother in Chicago in October, he was saying the same thing. He was like, I don't know about Chainsaw Man anymore. I was like, yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and to be clear, if anybody um hasn't really listened to us talk about Chainsaw Man, I really like part two. I really like Asa. I really like the whole kind of setup with their characters, the whole comedic kind of romance that's happening between them, all the grim aspects about like Chainsaw Man. Like I'm not like a part two hater. Part one is still like great, and it could have ended where it ended. In fact, one of my coworkers was just recently telling me that they're not reading part two because they feel that like um again, spoilers for Chainsaw Man. Once you like eat the villain, like ingest the villain, literally, there's nowhere else you can go. They're okay with just not reading any more of it. And I thought that was funny and kind of well said. So like part two to me is like a great bonus because like it could have ended perfectly fine with part one, and then part two ended up being like so fun and interesting, and Asa ended up being such a character I was really interested in seeing. So I'm really positive on part two overall. It's just honestly, it it was noticeable to me the dip as we just talked about.
Can't speak. There's specific plot elements that they introduced this year that were very strange, like the existence of two Chainsaw Mans.
Right.
Like that's a big question and hasn't been addressed or answered up to this point. So there's just a lot of things we don't know, and we're kind of waiting to see if Tatsuki Fujimoto is going to actually make all those pay off. I'm gonna assume he is because he always seems to mostly address everything that needs to be addressed. So he's not the type of person who's gonna introduce something and then like not mention it later or whatever. But in terms of Chainsaw Man, we can also talk about how the next anime arc, the Rize arc, is going to be a movie.
Ooh, yeah, that's exciting. I think that's a theory a lot of us had really early on because we were looking at the Chainsaw Man rhythm of the story, and if you're thinking about what would season two have, and season two, like the bomb devil arc would have been kind of too short to be all of season two, but then going past that would have been a little sketchy, and they would have probably have to leave a story arc like to be continued. So it makes a lot of sense for them to use the Bomb Devil arc. Even for a movie, the Bomb Devil arc might be too little content. So it wouldn't surprise me if they like pad it out with like a power Gaiden, because I don't know if you remember, but power wasn't present like at all during the Bomb Devil arc, except for the very beginning and the very end. So I think they're just gonna add stuff. I mean, even season one of the Chainsaw Man anime added a bunch of stuff to it. They really padded it out and made the rhythm of the story really slow. Really like they're trying to be like cinematic, so that those just like, really slow paced scenes in that anime. So I'm sure they'll do the same for uh, the film. Um, but damn, like this is still Mappa, right?
Still Mappa who just finished Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, which everyone is like raving about.
Yeah, like when are they gonna fucking implode? Like I feel like like we hear stories all the time about the animators and stuff. It just they're just putting so much high quality product out so quickly. I feel like
It's funny too, according to the animators, it's 30% of what they wanted to do.
yeah, that's some weird Stockholm syndrome. I'm sure they have their passion and their their pride as their work and as their art, but like y'all human beings who need to live.
The the problem is that you can replace those humans with other humans. That's how they look at it. They're not going to improve like the situation and give them more time that they need. They'll just replace them once they get burned out. Yay, 2024.
Yeah, we'll see.
We will. Anything else about Chainsaw Man?
Nope. Still revving.
Still revving. What about the return of our favorite, Black Clover?
Ooh, Black Clover, you say? We got
The series that got bullied off of Weekly Shonen Jump.
bullied. Is that the word we're using?
I mean,
Like that dude just needed to either stop or take a big break. He
I
was
mean,
he was
this
struggling.
is a this is a conversation I want to have on this episode, which is like my fascination looking at Shueisha as a publisher company and like their actions are totally informed by like how they just chase money. It's so very obvious. It's always been like this. But it's yeah, let's get Black Clover out of the way before I take a deep dive into that. Black Clover is now running in Shonen Jump Giga. Giga is their magazine that they put out where all the one shots go, like all like the new upcoming people trying to get serialized. But this is moving Black Clover off of the main magazine to Jump Giga has been done before. It happened to Gintama. Remember Darfox, our joke about how Gintama never dies?
Was
And
that the first move or the second move?
it was the first move. The funny thing is, the creator Sorachi for Gintama, she could not finish it on Jump Giga either, so they had to make their fucking Gintama app to finish on. Like that's just the funny part to me. Oh man. But yeah, Black Clover is in Jump Giga, and they finally put a new chapter out ever since it got moved off the main magazine. It was 30 pages of well drawn Black Clover.
Yeah, it was Black Clover. That is the revelation. It was Black Clover.
They're in the middle of the final arc battle. We just got to see some of the Black Bulls who are now have Asta's anti magic. They're infused by Asta's anti magic power.
Completely unique, original idea that wasn't done in another popular seminal shonen work.
Of course, of course.
But yeah, it's exciting. We love those characters, and we want Yuki Tabata to have some sleep, and it looks like he had some sleep. If we're going by the quality of the work, some rest. So yeah, personally, I don't care what magazine it is. I don't care that the schedule is really slowed down. I hope that it gets finished in a way that the author wants to finish. And
I don't think you have to worry about that. The fact
yeah,
that they didn't just cancel it and they moved it off so it could be finished properly, I think that's pretty good. And it still shows up on like the, Manga Plus apps or the Shonen Jump apps as a new chapter. So we'll see most people will see it. That's the only thing you need to fear is when it gets moved off the main magazine is like the general public in Japan doesn't see it, so they won't buy the new volume.
right.
But Black Clover is established enough. I don't think Yuki Tabata is hurting for money. He's gonna be fine. I worry about his health and how like he has been crushed by the grueling work schedule instead. So I think it's best for him. And I forget the release schedule of Giga. It might be quarterly, Dar, because I
Like
think
for a year, you mean?
yeah, I think it's because like this it came out in Jump Giga Winter 2024. So it might be a while before we see the end of Black Clover.
Hey, Chris from Canada, Happy New Year, or soon to be Happy New Year.
Yep, it'll be Happy New Year. It's Happy New Year in Japan already. Not yet. here on the western side of the world.
Chris, I know you've dealt with a lot of heavy stuff recently, so I'm just giving you good wishes, and good lucks for 2024. Um, you know, everybody deals with stuff sometimes, and I understand that you've been dealing with a lot of stuff. So um, I'm glad you stuck around and interacted with us, and I hope we continue to see you in 2024.
Here, a boot. Okay, Dar, can I talk about Weekly Shonen Jump in general now?
Yes, are we gonna drag Shueisha?
We're not really gonna drag Shueisha, but like, I guess the best way to explain how I look at like Weekly Shonen Jump manga, because it's the most popular, it's the most well known around the world, right? The way I look at them is like how a wrestling fan looks at the dirt sheets.
Okay.
The product itself is fine. There's enjoyable manga that Weekly Shonen Jump puts out that I do like reading, but some of them I'm just like doing it. What's the term when you've been sunk cost fallacy?
Yeah.
That's One Piece.
You feel like you gotta keep reading
That's
it,
One Piece. Yeah, it's not necessarily because I think it's good anymore. I read it because I've been just reading it forever.
or even that you enjoy it that much right now.
I mean, I enjoyed it in the past when I started it. I think the beginning of that manga is still really great. But, after almost 30 years, or is it 30 years soon? I forget. It's just like, oof. And same thing with Hajime no Ippo, I like Hajime no Ippo. We read that first volume with Morgana and a couple months ago. That was great. But when something goes on too long, it's just like it's kind of a hot mess. And so I look at Weekly Shonen Jump now as more of like what is happening in the magazine in the past couple of years as a business than the product. I'll tell you, Darfox, 2023 is pretty interesting, and this is also for like the past couple of years. It hasn't changed too much. Like I would say maybe like 5 years, like maybe like from 2015 on. They were meat grinding. I mean, they were going through new series like fucking nobody's business. New series in, out after 12 chapters. New series in, out after 12 chapters. Like they came in, they died. They came in, they died. And it seems like in the past couple of years, they've actually changed their philosophy a little bit. I'm going to say a little bit. Just a little bit, Dar. I'll give you an example. In 2023, Weekly Shonen Jump introduced... Let me just do a quick count here. 12 series in 2023. Okay? Out of those 12, 7 are still ongoing right now. Oh wait, I'm sorry, not even 12 because Shadow Illuminators technically is 2024. Oh, whatever, I'll count that. So 12 series introduced, only 5 of them have quickly died. Mind you, some of the newer ones, they're pretty fresh. Okay, they haven't like reached that point yet. But there just aren't long-running popular manga series anymore. And it's funny, like once you get past My Hero Academia, which started in 2014, that's the second oldest series in the magazine right now. One Piece is the only grandfather that started in 1997. If Black Clover was still there, it would still be around, but that also got moved out. Jujutsu Kaisen is probably one of their hottest series. That started in 2018. I think it's funny that Darfox Mission Yozakura Family, the one that you called like you tried to read Spy Family and you read that manga instead, I remember.
Yeah.
That's still ongoing.
Surprisingly, because
2000 from 2019. It has an anime coming out now.
yeah, I never hated that show or that manga. I liked some of it, but as I was reading it, I was like, it seems kind of mid, right? But it stuck around, so
It stuck
I
around.
had
It kept its mid card status, and it is a. It is not the most popular, but it's not the least popular, and lasted long enough to get an anime now. Same with Undead Unluck. I would kind of put that in that category. They're pushing for a lot more in the past couple months because the anime just came out. And that manga, Undead Unluck, did get a lot better, but in general, like, if you look at the lineup of Shonen Jump right now, a lot of it is still very new manga. And they're still technically going through their meat grinder of introducing new manga series and then just getting it the hell out very quickly. But this year they got a lot more things that are sticking so far. I'm also fascinated because I look at the Manga Plus website and on my app a lot. And the thing is, Darfox, when you look at that on my app, the ranking, it shows like how many people are looking at it, like each series, right? It counts like the view numbers and it shows it right there. The view numbers on the app do not match the view numbers on the website version, do not match the Japanese popularity. There's a newer manga called Kagurabachi that came out in 2023. It gets a lot of views on the app, but in the Japanese magazine side and on the website version, it's far lower. And so it's really interesting. I don't see that series lasting much longer, to be honest. But I wonder if the factor in of like the global popularity of how that is always in, it's like in the top 4. Like for every like release of like the Weekly Jump series. That's high. If you're in the top 5 of like views, that's very high. And I wonder if that's going to be a factor in that series being around or not, because before it didn't matter global views or like global popularity. It always comes down to sales of the books. Dar,
Yeah.
when did I stop talking?
No, I was hearing you
You heard me the whole time?
the whole time. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. My thing wasn't lining up in our recording software, and I was like, have I been ranting for the past 5 minutes?
No.
And nothing coming through.
I was 100% hearing you.
Okay, you heard everything that I was saying.
I was letting you cook.
Okay. I interrupted my cook. But, like, yeah, so you heard the part of me talking about the volumes and how they're, like, the end-all be-all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, that still seems to be the case. Like, if the volumes don't sell, then they get rid of you. It doesn't matter, like, how popular you are in the magazine. Shueisha is a company that looks at sales numbers. Sales numbers are king. That's kind of the reason why I think they pushed for like a new One Piece anime. We haven't talked about this on the podcast, have we? I don't think we did, because this is very recent. The news from Jump Festa that we're gonna remake the One Piece anime starting at East Blue on Netflix with a new animation company. What do you think about that, Dar? Do you think that's cool? Is it good? Like, what does that even mean for the current cast, which is starting to get old?
I guess I'm of two minds about it because I love my Resident Evil remakes. Um, but video games is so different because you have to deal with uh, gameplay and graphics and stuff. And I guess you could argue that the graphics of anime are also bad or age as well. But it seems pretty obvious that it's a cash grab. It's not like they're gonna remix the story or anything. They just want another One Piece show out there on Netflix.
Yeah, I think it's all money. I think it's always been money, and it is money, and manga is entertainment. They want to sell a product, so they're always going to look at money. Comes forth in their business practices. Dart, speaking of Shonen Jump, did you read the Ichino family's Deadly Sins? Or did you drop off of that?
I dropped. I meant to go back to it, but I
It's
didn't.
over now.
Yeah, I didn't finish it. But where I read it, kind of was like they're very quickly trying to wrap it up. Um,
The thing about that series is they tried to wrap it up and then it kept going. And the creator Taizan 5 did that manga on Jump Plus. That was like, everybody was talking like, oh my god, this manga is amazing.
the depression manga.
Yeah, the really like depressing, messed up manga. The Ichino family's Deadly Sins just seems like a watered down version of what they were doing for their first series. So I felt its limitations, and I think the limitations show. We could maybe go back and read that entire thing and take a look, but yeah, I can see like why Shueisha would decide we've gotten all that we can out of Ichino's family's Deadly Sins. We will let it go. Take it out back, if you will. Put it down.
Let it fade away.
I mean, it's funny, like, did you read any of Tenmuk Cinema? Forget the English title.
I don't think so. No.
You know of wait, this is okay, hold on. I'm just confirming this because I'm having a brain fart, but yes, I was right. It was a manga by the Food Wars team. About making your own, like, the main character wants to be like a movie director, and he gets cursed by a ghost or something to like make his screenplay, the ghost screenplay, or he'll kill him. It did not last. 2 volumes. And those creators are talented. They made Food Wars, which lasted a long time and was a big hit. Sophomore slump, I guess. The type of manga that they put in Shonen Jump is just fascinating to me. Like, they're trying all these ideas, and some of them just seem like so like not there, but they're just like going for it to see if it's gonna happen or not. It's that PR. You know how we did the right way to make Jump? They're always talking about the Shonen heart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it feels like they're drinking their own Kool-Aid sometimes.
Do you think they're worried about My Hero Academia ending soon?
I think that My Hero Academia will end in 2024, 100%, based on where the story is. Mind you, the original plan was to have it end at the end of 2022, and look what's happened. So,
Yes, that wasn't going to happen.
the problem with Weekly Shonen Jump is they don't know what the hell they're gonna do once One Piece ends. But that's not gonna happen for a while, so I don't think they need to be that worried. But obviously, it's something that is coming in the horizon, and they need to think about what's gonna happen after, because none of their other series that are popular have lasted. They're not in it for the long haul. My Hero Academia is long, right? And Jujutsu Kaisen 2 doesn't feel like it's going to last much longer. It might go on maybe 2 years, maybe 2025 at this point. It's like, what do they have after those My Hero and Jujutsu end? They got Sakamoto Days, which I think is surprising that has really risen up in the ranks. They have their Akane Banashi. The manga about Rakugo that's doing very well. But Akane Banashi is not popular outside of Japan. It's ranked pretty low on like the global apps. Do you see what I mean when I'm thinking about in terms of wrestling dirt sheets as opposed to like just looking at the products at face value? That kind of stuff, and like how the Jump Plus, like the editor from the right way to make Jump made an AI assistant, manga assistant program. It's very fascinating. Or news about how the Ancient Magnus's bride is going to do simulpubbing with AI translation stuff. It's like the direction the industry is turning is strange, and maybe not for the better. Chris from Canada is asking in chat if he thinks Shonen Jump needs to take more risks and actually run with them and not stop at the first bad signs. No, Chris. That's not Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump. They can afford to put in a new person, make them sink or swim, and then just put in another new person. It's the magazine that gets the most eyes. It's the place where you get the most people looking at your product. Better to keep cycling in new people because they can afford to, and that works for them. That's what gave them a lot of their super popular stuff. They don't have to cultivate their audience like the other publishers, which are like not as big. It's interesting though, Darfox. It's a little different than how Kodansha does it, and Kodansha is like the biggest publisher. Shueisha is like has the most eyes with Weekly Shonen Jump, obviously, but Kodansha is the biggest publisher because they just publish the most. Their philosophy is just like, we're gonna do fucking everything. We got 40 isekai manga. We got 40 romance harem manga. No, not 40. We got 50. Like, they do everything. And that's how they, like, spread their wings. Just doing everything and just seeing what works. Oh yeah, I fizzled out on my Shonen Jump talk. but hopefully listeners know kind of what I'm looking at and what I'm thinking as I look at all these new series come in and go. Because for the most part, like, a lot of these new things that come out, they're not, like, I read them, but I don't think they're that entertaining. Like, in Weekly Shonen Jump, the manga that I really like is Me and Roboco. Really good, hilarious series. And then, honestly, the rest, sunk cost fallacy. One Piece, My Hero, Jujutsu Kaisen, a lot of the others, I'm reading just because I've been reading them.
When was the last time you really just enjoyed one of the big popular mangas, though?
And Weekly Shonen Jump,
Mm-hmm.
Me and Roboco. It's basically it. I read like most of the stuff that comes out every week. There's a couple manga I just do not read, which is funny because they're the more popular ones. Dar. Everyone likes Blue Box. I don't care about Blue Box. A lot of people like New as Exorcist. I don't like that manga. Like that's a manga that's probably gonna gain enough popularity to be like a strong mid carder soon. I don't like it. Yeah, Chris says he feels hesitant to start a new series in Jump because they cancel so willy-nilly. I guess, Chris, I've just been seeing this for the past, 20 years, long enough, where I saw some of really promising manga that I like get canceled and like never got to continue. And this is how it is. I'm just old.
You're numb to it.
I'm numb. I've been in the game too long, Dar. And it's probably why I for this Manga Machinations podcast, why we don't tend to talk about a lot of these popular things. Because some of them, like the special ones like Chainsaw Man, which we do talk about, or the good solid ones that we enjoy, like Black Clover, it's been there, done before, but we really enjoy how well it does it. I'm into it. I can find series that I like, but you want me to pop hard for a manga? I'm probably gonna be popping hard from shit from Glacier Bay Books, because that's a manga I've never seen before, and to me, like a breath of fresh air in just like an ocean of, it's not even bad stuff, it's just stuff I've seen before. Everything manga is so much like, especially the popular stuff, it's like been there, done that. It's funny, Dar. On Pocket Shonen Magazine, which is the web version on Kojashino's Shonen Magazine, they started a new manga series called Man of Rust. I guess it was popular on Twitter. Now it's serialized over there on this thing. It screams Fire Punch.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's not a man on fire. It's a man who absorbed the powers of steel. It's not that it's necessarily post-apocalyptic, but he's getting revenge on people by punching them. Specifically, like in the first chapter, his tormentor uses firepower, and they call it like people with like sixth senses, or like it's very parallels to Fire Punch, but like Fire Punch done in like a just like straightforward shonen battle manga way. as opposed to the twisted way that Tatsuki Fujimoto did Fire Punch. So it's pretty fascinating to see that. That just started though, so like I'm interested to at least look at that series and see like if I can keep drawing Fire Punch parallels. But manga is derivative of all entertainment because everything is, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I feel like that should sum up my fucking philosophy on Weekly Shonen Jump and on like Shonen Battle Manga and everything. And you know that Shonen Battle formula, it works for someone, but not for someone necessarily my age anymore. This is the stuff that really gets to like 10 to 30. I'm gonna say. You're in that age range, you're like, yeah, this is great. And you're a male, yeah, this is awesome. You're just really popping off on like that type of storyline. Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Dar?
I figure we should talk about the specifics of My Hero at least a little bit because one major thing happened or seemingly happened in the last chapter, I think. Um, and that is All for One seemingly dead.
Defeated by Bakugo.
Yeah, defeated is a funny way to say it though because he just Bakugo basically like outlasted him, right?
Right, he kind of imploded.
Yeah. It seemed anticlimactic to me, but then again, I haven't been reading the manga. I've been skimming through the new chapters, so I kind of know everything that's happening. But I wouldn't surprise me if some of the details were lost on me. So, it seemed kind of anticlimactic for him to just like become a baby and then disappear.
Yeah, a little bit. They did a backstory about his origin,
Yeah.
and his origin is that he was just evil from birth.
Yeah, I think the origin implied that he was actually the first quirk baby, but it wasn't reported. The glowing Chinese baby was the first one reported.
Mm-hmm. And I guess they tied Bakugo to being like related to the second inheritor of One for All.
I missed that.
All for One was complaining about Bakugo's eyes. It's like, I don't like how you look at me. It reminds me of him. And that was like a reference to the person that took his brother away, the original One for All. Of All for One. Their name is so fucking confusing, especially in English. But the bad guy had a little brother that he looked at as his like possession, right? And the one who took him away from him was the one who inherited the younger brother, the good guy's power. Yeah, I think that's what was implied. I don't know. Like My Hero is messy at this point. Looking at the ending, I feel like my prediction that I originally made about how this series will end is coming true right now with the newest chapter.
What was the prediction? I remember.
My prediction was Deku is going to defeat the bad guy whose name I can't even fucking remember.
Shirabako, or Shigaraki.
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 Okay. You got there.
I got
there. You took me there.
The she.
Yeah, Shigaraki. He's gonna defeat Shigaraki, but in the process lose all his powers. and become quirkless again. And in the newest chapter, that's literally what happened. Shigaraki stole away one of Deku's extra powers. Like, Deku has extra powers from all like the previous holders of One for All. I think Shigaraki just stole 2 of those powers away. So yeah, it seems to imply that that's how that's gonna end. I guess my thing about this ending is, or where I perceive where this is going, how it's gonna end, is they still want to make Shigaraki a sympathetic like villain a little bit. It's like they're like, Deku's like, I gotta save him. He's asking for help. It's like, I think you just kill him. I think that's the better answer. He's destroyed so many people, but like, forgiveness is the key. It's like one of those things that, it's one of those shonen battle manga logic things that just don't jive with me so much anymore. Remember when we were complaining about Dr. Stone and how at a certain point Dr. Stone in that series they said, well, we're just going to revive everybody. Cuz we don't think about like the implications of like world racism and all sorts of other shit.
You wanted the world exactly how it was before.
Yeah, exactly. That entire thing. But yeah, Dar, we touched up on My Hero. Is there anything else you want to say about it?
No. Looks like it'll be a really good anime season if they animate it well.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt that.
There's all a lot of shit happening on those pages.
Yeah. I hope Kohei Horikoshi finishes My Hero Academia and never works another goddamn day of his life. He should sleep for 2 years straight and then do whatever the fuck he wants. I got a quick question from Chris here in chat. What Japanese magazine or distributor do you think is doing the best with distribution and selection coming into 2024? I guess this is more like a callback to, it's like right before October, I think. Everybody was out. And I had to do like a solo episode by myself. I was talking about like a lot of this because I was writing down all like the shonen magazines, my thoughts on them. I mean, the problem with this question, Chris, is doing the best. Like, how do I measure that? Am I measuring like financial success? Am I judging on personal like thoughts of like quality of manga series that they're putting out? And how do I base my judgment of that? Financially speaking, it's always going to be Weekly Shonen Jump. Pretty much. I mean, like, that's more of a sad thing to think about because in general, the print magazine is not doing well. Like, they close things like Kodansha's Evening Seinen magazine. They're not selling well enough to like continue those magazines, and some series died because of that when magazines close. The more popular stuff gets moved over to other stuff like web, but that never makes as much money, so that's also not good for the manga artists. The consumer perspective, reader enjoyment, quality, and variety. I mean, once again, this is like, I can only speak for my own personal opinion, Dar. Like, that's all I can do. I can't look at it objectively for like all viewers or whatever. Like, I don't personally like Kodanshas because their shonen magazine is like so full of like harem romance shit, which I just don't give a shit about, but it sells really well for them. So if you want, you know, rent a girlfriend type stuff, there's like 10 of those in weekly shonen magazine right now. They dominate that magazine. It's insane. Uh Weird stuff or niche stuff. That was Lucas Shonen Champions deal, but like Pari Takaki Sanda is just weird. I don't think it's good at this point. I just think it's strange. They got Yowamushi pedal, but they're just riding that Yowamushi pedal wave, you know. And Welcome to Demon School Irumakun is still very popular. So they got their big series, you know, holding up everything else there. I like certain things in Weekly Shonen Sunday, but they're like a couple, like a handful of series. So maybe like a quarter of their like series that run in there, and the rest are kind of just like whatever. You're probably gonna get the best variety from Weekly Shonen Sunday, I would say. They got a good, healthy mix of sports, romance. Oh, they don't have any battle. They don't do any battle manga. So if you want to get away from battle manga, then you might want to look at like Weekly Shonen Sunday. But Weekly Shonen magazine is, like I said, it's all romance harem series for dudes. For inept dudes surrounded by 10 hot girls, Darfox. What was that manga you loved in Weekly Shonen Jump? We Never Learn?
Yes.
10 variants of those. So if that's what you like, Weekly Shonen magazine is like your fill, I guess.
We
I don't know.
never
Like none of them really stand out as like these are all great or this is the best. It's more like individual series at this point that I still read. And the shitty part is like only Weekly Shonen Jump has like their web app, their global app that people can read and look on. So it's just more limited. K Manga took the right step, but you know that's only U.S. only right now. Fucking want it? Why? Who knows? But
I feel like Manga Plus is kind of our favorite manga platform overall, just because between having Chainsaw Man on there, between having granted it's been a while since this was running on there, but like it has stuff like Soloist in the Cage, um, and stuff
yeah,
like
it has a
that.
lot of stuff directly from the Jump Plus website. You know, some of their more experimental stuff.
Yeah, and Oshinoko
Yeah,
was
Oshinoko
from
is on
Code.
there for and they also have the new seinen manga from Golden Kamuy creator Satoru Noda. His
Yeah,
reboot of his hockey manga,
so
Dogs Red. Yeah,
I feel like pound for pound that platform is not really a magazine. It's kind of a platform putting from different Shueisha properties. Um, has
they got
been
Chojin X. Yeah.
has been like
Hmm.
the most exciting thing for us overall. But yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to choose one because I mean, you have way more knowledge about the magazines than I do, and it's hard for you to choose one. It's like it's just not really.
Like I'm getting to the point, Dar, where like I don't think I'm gonna continue with some of these magazines, and I might just be waiting for volume releases because it's exhausting to be looking at some of the magazines sometimes now just to look at the newest chapter. But this is new chapter check-in, so
New
I hope I
chapter
give
check
enough.
in.
I hope I give enough of an opinion for Chris. Wow, we've only been recording for an hour. It feels like we've been going for 2 hours.
It was. That's just because you're tired.
I'm tired. We started late. We're
Um.
having technical issues.
Oh yeah, a lot of technical issues. I guess I'm gonna do the big dangerous thing, and I'm kind of curious what One Piece is up to. Is there anything at all noteworthy with One Piece?
It's the bigger end game plot. So
Are they out of Wano?
they've been out of Wano for a while, I think.
Are they in a new place, or are they just traveling?
They're in a new place. It's a place. They're finally meeting Dr. Vegapunk, which is a character that they've hinted at for a long time in the series. We got backstory on a major character that was within the series, Bartholomew Kuma. He's basically the one who saved Luffy at the end of the first half, right before they did a time skip. It looked like he killed all the Straw Hats, but he actually sent them off to their own locations so they could train. That's when they did the time skip and came back. So they just did a long arc, flashback arc, because you know how they're wont to do of flashback arcs for major characters. These days, even though they do a flashback arc, it doesn't necessarily lead to like a new crew member. Usually that's what it means. If someone gets a flashback arc, it's a new crew member. But they did one for Law, and he didn't necessarily join the Straw Hats. They're doing one for Bonnie and Bartholomew Kuma right now. And it's fine. It's fine. It just seems like same old, same old.
So they haven't found the One Piece yet.
They have not found the One Piece thing yet. There's big bads coming to the picture, like a person from the world government is there right now, and there might have a direct conflict with them. And they brought back some characters like the CP9, CP0, whatever the fuck they're called. Bad guys from the Water 7 arc. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. My tired body directly reflects my thoughts on One Piece. So fucking tired, man. I just... Cost sunk fallacy. I'll keep repeating that. Is there anything else you want me to hear about, Dar?
Yes. Tell me about how the paint dries on the walls.
I'd rather tell you how paint dries on walls than talk about One Piece, to be honest. You know, to be completely honest with you, Dar, this might be the last new chapter check-in we ever do. I feel like before, we were excited to talk about Chainsaw Man updates, and we were excited to talk about Black Clover and things like that. Well, Black Clover is now in a different magazine. Chainsaw Man, we basically cover with Twipple Dips. We do that with Morgana and Seamus. It's like a long form retrospective at this point. Like, I feel like we should retire this episode that we're doing. And if it's just you and me, Dar, maybe we just do Dar Fox Dabbles and we look at some unique titles on the Manga Plus library.
That sounds fun.
Because we used to talk about the insanity of Attack on Titan. That's done, and I'm too tired to talk about One Piece anymore. I feel like when My Hero ends, or other big series like Jujutsu Kaisen end, I'll mention on podcast proper. We don't need a separate episode to get into everything anymore. Is that a back scratcher on your tower? I just noticed that. You just adjusted it.
No.
Are you joking? Because I have the same thing next to my computer desk, I can scratch my back. Does yours have like a roller part at the bottom?
This
the
is
handle.
this is the wiper of the plexiglass for the case.
Oh my god,
It,
Darfox joke.
it would, but it's missing it. It's like it just has holes.
That is
Just
hilarious. I have the exact same brand with the exact
yeah,
same holes.
yeah.
I'm holding it in my hand.
I think all like pharmacies like have carry these things are pretty common. And but because I have the hole missing, I could put my finger through it and do some like fancy ocelot things. Just like yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta check the stream out for that amazing moves.
Truly amazing. All right, Dar. It's Christmas. It's not Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve last week.
Christmas time.
So fucking tired. I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I gotta prep for my dog on Christmas Eve because fireworks are about to go crazy and she's gonna be freaking out.
yeah. Protect doggo.
I gotta protect my doggo. I should take her on a walk early before they start firing off bullshit.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I don't know if you agree. I said my piece about ending this, but do you agree that we should?
No. It totally makes sense. Especially, I think both people who listen to the podcast are gonna be like, "Whoa, are they okay?" Like, yeah, we're okay. Just the dog.
I'm
dog
okay.
is,
I'm just tired, everybody. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's just tired.
I'm
And
just tired.
and we like putting up episodes every week that we can. So
Yeah,
normally,
and I don't mind doing this. It's just that I happen to be tired today. I'm sorry,
and
everybody.
and is that your Kenny Omega impression?
I'm so exhausted, everybody. I'm so tired.
I bid you adieu, farewell, and whatever.
Good night. Bang.
Bang. Yeah, I think it's this totally fine. Unless there's some sort of weird renaissance of Shonen Jump that we don't anticipate, and we are all reading like 2 or 3 series week to week or something like that, then yeah, no, we should just do other stuff.
Turns out doing something low effort actually is like harder and more exhausting.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have been less tired if we prepped more. So that's on me, everybody. Ooh. I've been busy playing the sequel to Hotel Dusk.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when you say that because that's an old game, isn't it?
It's an old game on DS that never came out in the US, and I had to track it down so I could play it. And that game was phenomenal. I recently watched a YouTube essay on Hotel Dusk, and I was just taken aback to when I first played Hotel Dusk and how much I love that game. If you don't know anything about it, look it up on YouTube. It's a great visual novel mystery game. Morgana would love it. Morgana would absolutely love it.
Classic DS puzzle game.
Mm-hmm. Sadly, that company went bankrupt and didn't get to make a bunch of those. But I'm glad I finally played the sequel. Darfox, you're busy working out and playing the finals. Every day, Darfox is like, "We're gonna play the finals."
Yeah, finals is the game right now, right?
And I was like, "Darfox, when are you gonna install DNF Duel?" Because I've been bugging about it for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, I could install it. I don't have.
So he says he's been saying this every day. Everybody,
I don't have that.
All
much
listeners should know Darfox is a fucking liar. Fucking every day, I'm like, "Did you install DNF Duel so we can play?" He's like, "No." Let's play the final.
Is it on Epic?
Yeah, it's on the Epic Game Store. It's free, and you picked it up.
I'm hoping Epic launch right now.
I knew it. All I had to do was guilt trip Darfox live on a podcast to get him to finally install that shit.
Yeah,
It worked.
I'm gonna install it. We'll see when we actually play it. Let's see.
Oh, it's gonna happen soon.
Library.
But as far as the podcast goes, Starfox, is there anything new, up to date, things that we should take advantage of this format for its possibly final form that we should address? Any manga or anime or anything new?
No, we talked about what I wanted to talk about.
All right, very nice. Let's end this episode. Well, I hold Darfox's feet to the fire about DNF Duel. I want to thank Darfox for joining me this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, Please listen to other podcasts. They're much better. I apologize about this episode. But yeah, subscribe, rate us, review us. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever else you can find us. Check out our website, mangamachinations.com. We have a Tumblr, mangamachinations.tumblr.com. Join our Discord server, discord.me/mangamac. Darfox, we gonna play Mahjong tomorrow?
Sure, yeah.
All right, New Year's Day, January 1st, we're going to do Mahjong Machination Mondays, see if we can get some more people. I'm sure we can get my wife. Do a tournament. Come to our Discord to find out more information, discord.me/mangamac. Support us on Coffee. I guess I was about to say Patreon, but we don't have a Patreon.
No.
If you want to support our podcast, you can buy us a coffee. That's what I should have said. Head over to ko-fi.com/mangamac and be added to this nice title card Darfox made, where we thank you. Thank you for supporting us and buying us a coffee. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, youtube.com/mangamactv, where we stream our live recordings when Darfox's internet works. Oh my god, fireworks are already going off, Dar. It's 3:45 in the afternoon. Anyway, follow us on social media at Mangamac Podcast. It's Manga MAC Podcast. That's for Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, all the socials. Send us emails, mangamachinations@gmail.com. You can follow my social at DocZoo. Follow Darfox social at Darfox8. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to us this week. Bye-bye.